much, Tom, for that kind introduction. And first of all, let me thank Tom Bias for a lifetime of, well, life's not over yet, obviously, but for all that he's done in his young life, for agriculture, for rural America, for all the great things that Farmers Union stands for. As you know, he's now on to another adventure working on getting more renewable energy for this country. And I just want to thank Tom Bias for all of his help, his support, his involvement in getting that agricultural bill through, and for everything you've done for agriculture in rural America. Tom Bias, a great leader. I also want to recognize our Farmers Union President, Chris Peterson from Iowa. I didn't see Chris yet, but he's here someplace. And our former president, Gary Lamb. I was just with Gary, so I know Gary's here too. Gary Lamb, where are you? He was right back here. There's Gary right here. And my great partner, Colin Peterson, we worked many hours and many weekends and stuff on the last farm bill. And I think we got a darn good farm bill through. As Tom said, the president vetoed it twice, and Colin just leaned over to me and said that that's never happened before. So we wrote the bill twice and to get it done. And with that, because I had also been the chief sponsor of the stem cell research bill, it turned out that I had had 4 vetoes by President Bush, and the record will show that I was the most vetoed senator under President Bush. And I wear that as a badge of honor. Well, you're here certainly during a time of great excitement and challenges. Challenges are opportunities for change. I just mentioned stem cells. I just came from the White House just a little bit ago. President Obama signed an executive order overturning the Bush order of August the 9th of 2001, which shut down basically NIH and all of the National Institutes of Health funding for our research institutes across the country on research on stem cells. And we have been fighting for 8 years, and I've been fighting for 8 years to try to get that back in. I had two bills, as I said, vetoed by the president on that. The last one we had 66 votes in the Senate, so we were 1 vote short of an override. But the last election, of course, with that, we got new people in. So the president just signed the executive order this morning, and had a great crowd of scientists here. But he made a very profound statement. He said, you know, it's time that we start basing science on science and not on ideology, not on politics. So we got that done, and then we got to pass our bill in the House and the Senate. Well, the economy, I needn't tell you it's in bad shape. We're feeling it all over America. Agriculture and rural communities are not exempt. Costs are going, the production costs have not gone down. Credit's harder to obtain. Biofuels is struggling. Tom, you're going to fix that. USDA predicts farm income will fall by about 20% this year compared to last. But I just have one thing to say to all of you, my friends here, that I know a lot of you have been here to Washington before. This may look like the same town, but I guarantee you it's not the same Washington, D.C. Things have changed. We are fortunate at this time to have an inspiring, smart new leader in the White House. President Obama is from my notes said the leading, I scratched out and put a leading agricultural state, Illinois. And he has a record in Illinois and in the Senate when he was there fighting for farm families and rural communities in his home state and across the country. In his campaign, I can tell you from firsthand experience in Iowa, he reached out and spoke with understanding to agricultural and rural communities in Iowa and across America. So again, we are here at a time of economic challenges, but it gives us the opportunity to change our economic system, I think, for the future. I want to talk just a little bit about that. All I can know is this. Just as America's farmers and ranchers and rural communities are an enduring part of this nation's strength, they can and must play a vital role in our economic recovery. That's our farmers and our ranchers all over America in our small towns and communities. Now, people who say that elections don't matter just haven't been paying much attention, because we have passed a lot of bills in the last month, the most important of which was the economic recovery bill that we passed. That will send a good deal of assistance to put people to work, spur economic growth, business investment in rural America. It'll help build community facilities for daycare, elder care, hospitals, health clinics, rural housing, fire and rescue stations, water and wastewater systems, expand broadband telecommunications in rural areas. And the loan guarantees and grants will help rural businesses invest and grow, especially and including locally and farmer-owned enterprises. So a lot in there for rural America. I'm especially pleased that the bill also has a lot of help for the lowest income of Americans, to help them put food on the table. Farmers Union has always stood tall over the years as a farm organization that sees helping people have enough to eat as the right thing to do, and has always supported nutrition assistance, and I thank you very much for all of that through the years. Now, if you'd been here a week ago today, we had a big snowfall, like 6 inches or something of snow in Washington. Someone said that, you know, instead of getting all these snow plows and stuff to take the snow out, we had to put AIG in charge. You put AIG in charge and it just simply disappears. just like all those billions of dollars. Well, we got the Tarp program now. We got to make sure that it's used now more wisely than it has been in the past. And again, you know, I've never been in favor of trickle-down economics. I've always believed in percolate-up economics. So instead of putting all this money into the big banks in New York and stuff like that, let's figure out how we get it down to people at the bottom, in our smaller banks and our rural banks and things like that that help people at the bottom, because that's where we can actually get our economy stimulated and growing. So we're also fortunate to have a strong new Secretary of Agriculture in our former governor of Iowa, Tom Vilsack. And I know he spoke to you earlier, I think, right, Tom Vilsack? He's going to be a great Secretary of Agriculture. He knows agriculture. He knows rural communities. He's deeply committed to farmers, ranchers, rural communities, and a quality of life in rural America. It's great to have a more sympathetic administration to carry out what Colin and I did in the Farm Bill. We were always worried about that. We talked about that. Well, we got a good Farm Bill, but then it's up to the administration, you know, to carry out and to implement. We know what that was like after the 2001 Farm Bill that we passed, what happened after that, and them not carrying out exactly what we wanted to do. So now we have a more sympathetic ear there to carry it out. In the new Farm Bill, as you know, we were able to maintain farm income protection, although higher target loan prices don't start till next year. The Acre program should afford some stronger countercyclical income protection, starting with this crop year, by the way, and we were able to get that done. We restored the payment rate and added a feed cost adjuster for the milk program, the Milk Income Loss Contract program. Even so, the present economic situation is really straining farm income protection system, so we here have got to keep a close watch on the farm economic picture as this year unfolds. To compensate and help farmers and ranchers in conserving and protecting soil, water, and wildlife, we had several new initiatives. We put a strong emphasis on supporting conservation on land in production, working land. It's now important for USDA to issue the regulations and start offering assistance to farmers and ranchers on this. In particular, I look forward to a new sign-up for the Conservation Stewardship Program, which pays producers who continue their good conservation practices and are willing to do more. CSP, under the last Farm Bill, as you know now, will be offered nationwide and not just in watersheds, selected watersheds. Competitive markets, we worked very hard to make sure we had more fair, open, and transparent and competitive markets for agricultural producers. We're going to work with them to make sure that they're implemented effectively. We put the first ever livestock title requiring protections and fairness for producers in production contracts and strengthening the enforcement of the packers and